Hello, people. We are back at To The Podcast, episode 161, and it's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tash, the co-host with the mostest.
And we back for another episode of us, like Stevie Wonder over here. We back for
no,
another...
No, you're not like Stevie Wonder.
No, I'm just... We back for another episode of us.
Yeah.
Facebook, A2TP.com, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Pod Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Player FM, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Type us in, check us out. We're on all those platforms. Let's get to it. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good today. I would say I'm a 10, but I'm a 9. Only because I know, you're a little stressed right now. And I love you, and I'm not worried about you because it's not anything to worry about. I just don't like to see you and feel that you're stressed. So that's the only thing. And, it's nothing I can do because it's, your work stuff. But, if you need anything from me to help you feel better, I'm here. And I mean anything. Anything. Financially, I would say we a 10, but you bought $15 loaves of bread. So we're a 9.
I told you I was buying bread, and we was buying the hero bread that had the 0 carbohydrates in it. We saw it on Amazon, and I told you it was $28.
No. You never told me how much.
All right, maybe I didn't think to myself that it was $28. I saw
ordered it.
I saw the 4-pack for $50. And I said, I don't want that. So
that's cheaper, but we don't need that much bread. We would have to freeze it.
Right.
Yeah, you balling when you don't even check the price. You just hit purchase.
I did check the price. I didn't hit, I might not have. I'm just saying my bread shouldn't cost $30.
Yeah, for 2 loaves.
I
but agree. I'm a 9, and not just because you bought, $15 bread. But just because, just staying there to have room for improvement. Work is a 10. Work is really good. Really good. Nothing new per se, but everything new still, I guess you can kind of say. But it's good. Physically, I am a 10. I feel amazing. Working out. My body is a little sore in places. I think I'm dealing with some sciatica. Like, I feel like I need one of them BBL pillows, which I think is what's making my hip hurt sometimes. Literally, it feels like if my leg goes that way, like I'm going to break until the juices get flowing. You know what I mean? It's like when I first start, once the juices get flowing and gets warmed up, it's fine. But I really feel like I need a BBL pillow because my, I'm telling you, my coccyx is not
like
good.
A tire, the air in it?
Yeah, like the
circle pillow,
or I was gonna say the neck pillows that they just flip around and say, "Hey, sit on it," But other than that, I feel good. I feel amazing, happy about what we're doing in the gym. I feel my body changing, and I feel good. Working out is like those I don't know the endorphins, or I don't know if it's endorphins or dopamine or serotonin or oxytocin, whatever chemical it is. I think it's the dopamine from working out. But I feel good. It's definitely, not that I've been stressed, but it's a stress reliever in a sense for me. Like, you feel happy, almost like it gives you that sense of accomplishment, I guess, when you're done. Yeah. So it makes you feel good. And
throwing your body around just feels like you've done something.
Yeah, and I think it's the chemicals from sweating or something does something to you as well. Just, it's...
No, ultimately it's the chemicals. I'm just saying how you get the chemicals. Like throwing your body around, getting your heart rate up.
And I think the mental thing, too, of overcoming, if you're working out, like if you're just walking on a treadmill and you're just doing it, that's all well and good, too. But if you're doing something a little more strenuous, but you get through it, and it's hard and you get through it, it's like, I don't know, like that... treatment. I don't want to say like we're like animals, but humans are like animals. It's almost like giving yourself a treat, like giving yourself a pat on the back, and it feels good. So I'm a 10. I feel great. How are you, baby?
I am 8.
Yeah.
Right now mentally, my energy's low. I don't like that. I'm just stressed about work. Like, it's shit going on with this restaurant where it's just it's just stuff happening. I'm not going to say nothing bad about the restaurant, but it's just shit happening, and a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and ultimately things come back to me, and yeah, I don't like that. I stress about that, and I want my decisions to be back with good information. That's all. Yeah, I want my decisions to be backed by good information, and I think they are. It's just like I gotta get to work tomorrow to prove it. So yeah, I'm stressed about that. Yeah. Finances, I think, are a 9. I did buy $30 bread. Meant to buy bread, didn't mean to buy $30 bread, but it's here. It showed up.
Hopefully it tastes well.
Had a sandwich.
You ate it. Did it taste good?
Yeah, it tastes good. Didn't taste like cardboard or anything. Very soft.
Yes, extremely soft.
We'll see how it plunges through the system.
Because it's all fiber.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. Maybe in the morning it does something amazing. But we'll see. That is yet to be determined. Work is as low as we can go in here. 7.
Yeah.
Low work is a 7 right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a 7.
Oh man.
So it's a 7 for about 16 hours or whatever, 14 hours, and then we'll see if the number goes up. But yeah, it works by 7. Physically, I feel great. I would say I'm a 10. I got to get some shine on the board somewhere. Yeah. So I feel like I'm a 10. Like she said, to piggyback on what she said, I like what we're doing in the gym. It's definitely a stress reliever. I didn't like being called today in the gym with stress, but it was definitely the gym is definitely a stress reliever. So yeah, I feel like I'm a 10 there. Wows and woos, stops and goes, blacks and whites.
My
wow. Lefts and rights.
Nothing spectacular other than having another week of life. I'm grateful for that always. So I'm always gonna give a shout out a wow to that. Yeah, so wow for that. No woes, which I'm grateful for, no bad news, nothing negative going on other than my baby not feeling mentally well I won't even say today, just work stressing you. But other than that, all good. I'm all good. How are you? What's your wows and woos?
My wow is that my fellas came back to me this week. So work has been fruitful and funny and, talkative. I was by myself for a long time, not hearing my own voice. So yeah, just the fact that my fellas is back today and that camaraderie of being with the fellas, that feels good. That's a wow for me. My woe is that, other things outside of my hands, the powers that be, architects and things like that is just stressing the situation. So that if that had to be a woe, that's definitely a woe today. That's what I got.
Well, hopefully things will get better. Thank God that you have me here with you to, kind of be your shoulder to lean on. But I want to ask, what are some of the underrated advantages of living alone? Like, of course, we've been living together almost more than half your life now, right? And you've only lived alone for a short period of your life. I've never lived alone. I don't feel that I'm one of those people that feel like I have to be with people.
Okay.
But some people can't live alone. Like they always got to have somebody around. I don't feel like I'm that kind of person. But, I enjoy living with you. But what are some of the underrated advantages that you can think of living alone? Underrated
advantages of living alone is probably like simple shit. Like you can be as messy as you want because there's nobody there to, say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Underrated advantages. I would think like everything is solely for you. Like you don't have to worry about another person. Like if you're a person who's single and never lived with anybody, you have no idea what that experience is like to live with somebody. Like whether it be sharing a bathroom, whether it be the food you cook every night or the food he cooks every night. Like it's a plethora of things that you could say are an advantage because I live alone. I can come in late. I can If you're a person who smokes, you can smoke in your house if that's what you want to do. So,
but I mean, you would think if you're in a relationship, that's something that you probably would do anyway, considering that person would probably know that about you. I think one of the things, like you mentioned, you can be as messy as you want, but on the flip side, if you can not worry about somebody else's mess, you know what I mean? Like if you can have things the way you want them to be and avoid
aesthetically, you mean, or you mean like dirt?
Well, yeah, I'm talking about aesthetically. Or I mean, because messy, I don't necessarily associate with dirty. Like, you know, sometimes I can be messy. Sometimes you can be messy. Like, you know, you have all of your things and it's like, okay, put them on the tray or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or same for me. So, I mean, like aesthetically, you know, things can be the way you want them to be. I think for me, one of the most underrated things is quiet time. Like, like I always say, and, you know, this ain't my life and I'm okay with it not being my life. But if my life was living alone, I would probably have one TV somewhere, like maybe a small TV in my bedroom if I wanted to like watch TV at night or something like that. But the TV would probably...
Why wouldn't you have a decent sized TV? Why you gotta say small?
Well, I mean, I would have
like when you wanted to cut it on, you want to see it.
But I mean, I wouldn't have like I wouldn't feel the need for an 80-inch. But I'm just saying, I would have some music playing throughout my house constantly, like something soft and quiet. Or if I felt like jamming, it might be something a little more upbeat. But that would be so when I say quiet, I don't necessarily mean silence, but I mean the sound of the sound and ambiance of what I wanted in my space. So that's one of the things.
Like if you wanted to be candles all over your house and no TV and
just some jazz or ocean music playing, and it's like
brown noise, you can just lay out on the couch and go to sleep,
or read my book and it just be quiet, or like like that. So that's one of the things you think when there's other people, you have to take into, because like even if I feel like I want some quiet time, like I can go into a different room or a different part of the house, but you're still watching TV. So it's like you have to take into consideration, you have to compromise. So I just think if overall that's one of the things, ambiance I think is an underrated advantage where you can kind of, now you may have some couples that are on that same vibe, but you know, usually it's not that way. Opposites attract.
Right.
So my husband is a loud person, not even a loud person. He likes volume, like whether he's listening to TV or listening to the radio, you know, in the car or listening to music, he likes volume. So for me, I'm sometimes like, oh my God, can we please?
Not that you dislike volume, it just wears on you after a while.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to be clear. Like, are you saying you don't like volume, like you're the opposite of me, or you just...
I like a much lower.
So
like
no
he can watch
circumstances
TV on 35. I can watch TV on 10.
So in no circumstances does loudness affect you?
What you mean?
Like,
no circumstances do I want loudness?
Yeah.
If it's a Saturday or Sunday, we in here cleaning and got the music on and jamming, yes. I like, you know, some volume to the music. But that's to a certain extent. Like, I want the volume loud, but I don't want it to be like where we can't hear each other.
So even though you know internally you're going to a concert, does the noise wear on you after a while? Or do you just zone out because I'm here for 2.5 hours? Or does it be like, damn, this shit has been loud for 2.5 hours? Like,
you know what? I think and maybe it's like the concerts that we go to, because they're loud enough where you can hear the music, but I guess the acoustics are so that it doesn't feel like it's beating in your chest. You know what I mean?
Like it's landing on you.
Yeah. Like, no, we've been places, like when we went to see WWE, that was the kind of loud.
Trucks.
And monster trucks that was like, okay, leave me in here
take
for
2 hours of that.
I was going to say a half hour more, I'm going to be leaving with a headache and it's not going to be enjoyable anymore. Right. Now, sometimes I'm in a car and I might be jamming, rocking out. But again, it's like the acoustics and the sound, it works. But music is different than voices and talking in the mood. Like,
plus, I
watching
also
a
know
movie.
it's something I can get out of it by just turning the radio down.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I'm not trapped.
Right.
I'm not trapped in there. Yeah. I mean, like you go in the movie theater, it's loud, but the volume kind of fluctuates to become conversational.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, so that's one of the things that I think is an underrated advantage, when it comes to listening to, I'm sorry, when it comes to living alone. It's just the ambiance of the home.
Yeah, you can have things the way you want it, the furniture you want. You ain't gotta defer to anybody.
Yeah. Now, do you think, like, I know we have a relationship where, when it comes to like you said, furniture and stuff like that, we make mutual decisions. But there are some relationships where the woman is solely, what she says goes, or the furniture that she wants, or the look and aesthetic that she wants goes. How do you feel about that?
I think I have an opinion, but you do decide what furniture we want.
Yeah, I think I can influence your opinion.
Yeah, even that, I'm conceding that. Like, I want to have an opinion about, okay, do I like it or not? Do I like the color? Do I like the seat in it? Is it comfortable? But ultimately, you decide that, and I'm comfortable with that.
Okay,
yeah. I don't have no pushback against that. Like, I'm proud that I picked out a chair. Like, like, I don't care. Like, as long as it looks good, it's comfortable, and yeah, it's something that we both want to come home and look at every day, then yeah, you can pick that all day. I ain't pushing back on that.
It's funny because I seen somebody had posted something.
Is that weird to you? I'm sorry to cut you off. Is that weird to you that a husband wants to have an opinion, or I'm not even gonna finish asking because you're such a control freak. You would rather have it where?
No.
Let me decide what we want.
No, that's why I said I can influence your opinion. Like, our tastes are very similar in a lot of ways. So, like, I'm not going to want no crazy looking furniture. So I do want you to have an opinion because you got to live here too. I don't want you being in a, and I feel like
but sometimes you can have a take where you'll say, I want modern mid-century rustic old country. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, none of that goes.
But see, I can say that, and you don't care about any descriptions that I give. You just want to see what pieces, and you'll be like, okay, I think that looks nice.
Right.
Or you might be like, babe, that's really ugly.
Right.
So, again, I can influence. You trust my taste. You trust my choices. But I want you to have an opinion because, again, you got to live here. You got to be comfortable. I don't want to have something where you come in like this ugly ass house every day. Like, I don't want you to feel like that. So, no, I do want you to have an opinion. And I appreciate the fact that you do trust my taste. I don't know how I would feel if you were like, I don't know because it sounds like one of those reverse misogynistic things. I don't know what you call that, where it's like gender roles, where it's like, I don't want you to be too involved in like picking out curtains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I also, at this big age, and this ties into living alone too, like if I lived alone, I would think I would have a fly decked out bachelor pad. Like, it would be, a woman would walk in and be like, holy shit, like, this is nice. Like, I could see myself being in here. But I like women touches on things. Right. Like, at this big age, the years I've been with her, like, I like that soft touch in a room amongst other hard things. If you understand what I'm trying to say. Like, everything isn't roses and pink, but I do like the softness of stuff.
But like, you want some roses in the room.
Yeah, like, it feels good when you walk in a room. Like, you don't want to, like, it feels good to come in and smell diffusers or smell flowers and shit like that. And you wouldn't necessarily have a man putting roses in his bachelor pad. So that kind of, I'm talking about fresh flowers. Like, that scent when you come in, that light scent sometimes smells like, oh man, like, that just feels good to come home to. Yeah. And you get a whiff of that when you pull the door shut. The diffusers, like, that kind of shit, those womanly, if that's a word, those womanly scents and touches, the covers you lay down to, the colors of it, the pictures on your walls, like, that shit makes sense. Because you can go in some men in their houses and walls is bare.
You know it ain't no women. Yeah,
it's like, ain't nobody here, like, shit is bare. Motherfuckers ain't like, TVs be on the floor.
Or it look like IKEA.
Yeah, like, it's just like, you can tell this stuff was pieced together. There's no woman's touch on it. Yeah, you have the essentials and you can get by and your place looks nice, but there's no woman touch on it. Like look at the refrigerator, look at, shit around the cabinets. Like look at your bedroom sets. Like that kind of shit has that softness on it.
Could you ever see us being in a situation where we love each other immensely, but we get to an age where like we slept in different rooms?
No.
Yeah.
No, because and I don't know how healthy that this is, but it works for us. But the symmetry and the like touching when we sleep, or if we can't sleep, and then the second we touch 5 minutes later, we're asleep. Like those things are not just like something we know we need. It's like my body needs that.
Yeah, like the
like
oxytocin.
Those. That's how my body says, okay, it's time to rest and go to sleep. You safe, you comfortable. Mm-hmm. Without that, the anxiety would be like, where is she? Why she not here? Like we're not touching. Like you know what I mean? All that kind of shit.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. When you go to work and I'm still in the bed, it's one thing. But even then, I get on your side of the bed so I can smell you.
Yeah, see,
but but it's weird. Like I couldn't imagine like getting up, opening my door and walking across the hall to come to your room. Like, good morning.
Like, nah, I don't think I would like that neither.
Yeah, like, good morning.
Or having sex in your room at night and then like
and then getting up and going to your bed. I'll be like, just stay.
I would be in like, nah, then I go in there and be like, I want to go back.
Yeah. Or you'll be sleeping every night. You'll hear the door creak open and me come tiptoe right in your bed. You'd be like, this girl every night creeping in here. Because I sure would every single night.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
So let's pivot a little bit. That's talking about relationships. How strict are you when it comes to friendship relationships? Do you feel like you are quote unquote strict as a friend?
Yes.
And if so, what does that entail? Like what makes you a strict friend?
Because I don't tolerate nonsense as a friend, like especially once information is given. If somebody is clueless about something or don't have the proper information or the information they might need to achieve what they're trying to do, and they get said information, if people still lack drive, ambition, or change, I have zero tolerance for that. And I still can be your friend, but I kind of look at you different. I'm judgmental in that way. Yeah, it's like, and again, I have empathy for people who have bad times, who fall on bad times. Shit, I've been there, but I'm just saying it comes a point in time where you get more information or you get a road out, you're supposed to take it. Right. The information you get, you're supposed to apply it. It's like, I tell people, the decisions you made up until this point is why you're at this point. So do the total opposite. Like, who knows what's going to happen? I always refer to the Seinfeld episode of having coffee and a donut every day. Okay, having a coffee and a tuna sandwich every day. Have tea and a chicken sandwich every day, and see what that happens, and see what happens then.
Okay, so, I mean that's a simple change, but it's one of them things where you got to think that
I fucked that all up, but yeah.
When you when you talk about people making changes in their life, I think it depends on what kind of changes, the stage that they are in life. Because one of the things that we have to realize is no matter how much we want for people, like it's up to them. It's like wanting somebody to go to rehab. Mm-hmm. Like you can want as much as you do for them, but it's solely up to them. I think one of the things I don't think that I'm a strict friend. There's certain qualities that I look for in a friendship. One, I have to feel like I can get something from you. And mm-hmm. I don't need money from anybody, but it has to be some sort of inspiration, motivation.
I'm pouring to you, you pouring to me.
Yeah, somebody that I can look to learn from. I never want to feel like I'm the smartest one in the room. Like I have some friends that I ask them, I may bounce things off of them, whether it's mostly professional in a sense, but socially, I want to feel like I don't have a group of friends where where we gossip about like nonsense and stuff like that. And it's not always business and serious, but I do want to feel like it's uplifting. Like when I leave from your presence, that I feel good. Like, oh, I'm looking forward to the next time we're together. I don't want to feel like your presence is draining. I was just talking to somebody.
Like it took something from me when I wasn't giving.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody a few days ago when they were mentioning, like, a friend that they had for a really long time, and they got to the point where they realized, like, every time we're together, I leave feeling like I wish that we hadn't spent that time together. And it gets to a point where you think, why am I, like, if you're paying to go out to dinner or go to a club or something, like, why am I paying to spend time with this person and leaving wishing that I had?
Right.
That, then it gets to the point where it's like, you know what? I love you and I care about you and I want the best for you. But it does create a gap in friendship. Right. So I don't feel like, I know some friends feel like, oh, you can't miss their birthday, or, you got to attend every event. I know life happens, and I don't attend every event that somebody invites me to. I try to wish people a birthday that I know, but I just don't hold anybody to that standard when it comes to like being a friend, because life happens. And I'm okay with, like, I would rather you be there for me in other ways than just the fun stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because you can relate, you can rely on strangers to have fun with. You go somewhere solo by yourself, end up leaving having a good time with a bunch of strangers.
Right.
And not saying that you only want friends that's going to be there for you when times get hard, but if I can't, and when I say times get hard, like, when you had your emergency, Toya was ready to drop everything she was doing and drive 4 hours. Like, what's the name of the hospital? Where y'all at? You know what I mean? And I don't expect that from everybody, because everybody's life might not dictate that. But there are times where you want to know that somebody who, is special to you or you call a friend
that
will
spend a lot of time with,
be there for you. Maybe other times where you're going through something difficult and you might have a friend that, prays with you. This morning, Jade sent a text. It was just like a gospel song. She was like, I just wanted to share this. This was my worship, my praise and worship song this morning. It was good. So you want those friends that's going to feed into you spiritually. If you're going through something, friends to ask you, how are you? How's things going? How, like, really, how are you?
How are you?
Yeah. And if you don't have that from friends, from the people that you call friends, if you can't get anything from them, then that's when I think, when people say we have to learn how to use the appropriate term. Some people are colleagues. Some people are associates. Some people are acquaintances. Some people are just family. They may not be a friend. Mm-hmm. And then you have real friends.
I wouldn't think you're a strict friend either. Mm-mm. Because, like, just being around your friendships, you're kind of not like happy-go-lucky, but you just kind of like breeze with the wind. And you're not like stern and like,
we don't have to
like
talk.
If somebody was late to something, like, you ain't tripping. Like, it's just is what it. Well, probably because you're late to everything, but you don't bug about stuff like that. Where another friend might be like, it's just common courtesy we talking about here, like people's time. Like that's not. But a person would be offended by something like that, like bitch fucking talking about I was late, but it's like that's just common courtesy. Be on time.
I mean,
that comes with the friendship. Like, be on time.
I tried the time thing, it's not my strongest suit, being punctual. Mm-hmm. I tried, because I do respect my friends. I try to be on time. I would hate to, have somebody waiting for me or costing them money or something because they're waiting. But yeah, I'm not a strict friend. I don't feel like we got to talk every day. I don't feel like you always have to, be on my phone, like, I just don't feel like it, because again, we're, especially at this age, we are grown. You got people trying to maintain their jobs, maintain their relationships. If they're parents, be a parent, then maintain themselves, and then friendships might be at the bottom of that list. Right. And I'm okay with being, well, first of all, God should be at the first of that. Then you're talking about your spouse, your kids, your job. Then, friendships friends. Fall into that. I don't expect to be at the top of somebody's priority list other than my husband. Like, you are the only person who I should be at the top of your priority list after God.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't expect that of a friend. Now, there are some times, like, where I do, the biggest requirements that I have of friends is loyalty. Like, and
Well,
that...
You only know you have that until you've been through something.
Right.
Because you can just say, okay, that's a requirement, that's your bar, but you don't know you have it until some shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
So those kind of things like loyalty, like something might not hit the fan for 3 years into the friendship.
Yeah, I have.
And you've been friends this whole time, like doing it all big and having dates and all this shit. Then when something hit the fan, you like, this bitch bailed on me.
Yeah, there's some situations that I feel like people don't have to pick a side, because it may not, it may not even include them or involve them. But if it's a situation where like somebody disrespected me, disrespected my family, then there may be times that you have to pick a side. What if it's a situation
where I'm about to say where you have to pick a side and they don't?
Then that's okay. You just gotta stay there.
Okay.
You gotta stay there. You can't come back. So there's I don't want to give any clues, but a person who was in my life, mostly all my life, who I was very close with, and a male. You probably know, but if not, I'll tell you about it later. And we've always had a really close relationship, even though sometimes there may have been some distance for whatever reasons, but never any beef. Like, a lot of love. And a situation happened and with my family, and I'll say with my dad, and like it was a statement that was made about like them like being there for them and caring about them, and it was like, oh, okay. And I'm at the point where I don't feel the need to explain to people like why I may move the way I move. If you ask me, I'll explain it, but I can cut somebody off and it just be like, it is what it is. As long as I feel good about my decision and I'm not questioning myself. And that's how I feel at this point. Like, okay, that relationship is done, because that's a situation where you do have to pick a side, and you pick that side, so stay there. But like, it's we not that no more.
So I think in some ways we all can be strict as far as with friendships. Like if I have some friends who ask me about how it is getting older, going to the doctors, savings accounts and things like that. And I feel like if I give those friends like information about, you should go to the doctors, do this and this, easy, you can do this and this and this, like I'll start to pick at my friends and be like, a month later, hey, good morning, everybody good? Like, so we go to the doctors? And everybody like, nah, we ain't go to the doctors. You get your 401ks yet? No, we didn't do it yet. And then I'll let like a month go past. Make any doctor's appointments?
But
and they'll be like, and they'll look at me like, damn, like you always riding us. You always riding us. It's like, no, you asked for this information. You have it, like, move with it.
But I'm not strict about what other people do in their life. I'm strict about how you treat me and how you make me feel. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do for you.
So I guess.
My thing is this. Don't come back and, like, want the same information or with that what was me. Because it's like, we already talked about this. And I can't keep, hearing the sob stories and that kind of thing.
I think that's what it is. Like, they'll keep coming back with the, damn, like, fucked up. I ain't, things ain't working out. And it's like, nigga, like, go, what we talk about. Go do what you're supposed to do. And again, like, I know everybody don't move at my speed, but just being honest that I am kind of strict like that in my friendships.
Yeah, how you treat don't get me wrong.
But I treat my friends nice. I mean, if you ask them, they would say, yeah, he loves the shit out of us. He always looks out for us. But I am strict in that way where I'll bring up something that I know you probably should be doing and you're not. But
you can't, like, I ask some of my friends sometimes, like, when's your mammogram? Now, I will remind them, like,
that's dope, I think.
Yeah, but if they don't, I'm not like mad. Like, I want them to, and I care about them, and I'm going to pray for them that God forbid nothing happens to them.
But if you didn't talk to him for a month, and then you talk to him again, and was like, "Damn, we ain't talking in a while. Did you get that mammogram? Did you schedule that?" Like, you wouldn't poke at him like that, like not on a I'm mad at you, but.
No, I mean, it would be
5 weeks ago, I asked you, did you get your mammogram? You said no. It's 5 weeks later, we talking again. I'm going to ask you. You're my friend. Did you get your mammogram? Did you schedule that, girl?
I mean, I'm going to ask, but if you don't, that won't. So when I say, when I think of being strict, that's not going to affect our friendship.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I mean, again, I want you to be healthy. I want you to be okay. You know that, you know, you need to get your boobies checked, but that's not going to affect our friendship. You know, I mean, now, God forbid somebody gets sick. It's going to be like, damn, like, didn't we talk about this? And now I'm going to be there for you, you know? But again, it's not going to affect our friendship that you did it. It's just going to, and I probably wouldn't even say, like, I told you. So that's the last thing I probably would say. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's like, again, I don't want to say I don't care about what they do in their own life, because there are some things I do care about. Like, if I had a friend that was a degenerate alcoholic and, you know, having DUIs and stuff like that, I can't bang with you. Like, you are putting your life in danger, other people's life in danger. That would affect our friendship.
I don't even think I could be friends with somebody who I know is doing shit like that. Like, you don't care about, like, drunk driving or doing shit like that. Like, I mean,
but the unfortunate thing is, babe, and this is, you know, I hate to say it, and I say this to my friends,
even if our thoughts don't align, if we talking about drunk driving and I'm like, yeah, that shit is whack, like, I don't know how you can be adult and drunk drive. If you don't have that same sentiment, I look at you funny.
First of all, I've posted on my story several times, I think people who drink and drive are stupid. But you got to think, you know how many people go out to dinner and have drinks and go home? So everybody, I mean, I don't want to say everybody, because, like, you know, Toya is one person who she always, most of the time, catches a lift, or, you know,
because somebody will say being drunk is relative to each individual.
Yeah, and then some people say buzz driving is bad too. So, I mean, it's hard to say, like, I mean, people know that it's dumb, and people, I don't think most clear conscious people intend to it. Now, but again, if you have those people that are degenerate drunks and they just don't care, then that's different. I don't think I could be a friend with somebody who is a degenerate drunk.
But I think if you get dressed, go out to dinner, have drinks, knowing that you're the driver, you and your wife, and y'all both drink, and you get in the car and drive back home, I think that's intent. I don't think you needed to say in the beginning, I'm going out to get drunk and drive. I think the fact that you lack the awareness to not drive or get an Uber or cab, whatever the fuck it is, but you knew you was going out to eat dinner. You knew you wanted to drink, and you knew you was going to drive your car back home. You did that all because you wanted to. I think you don't need to be like, my intent when I left the house was to get fucked up and drive home.
Right, but what I'm saying is, everybody thinks they'll be okay. Before we stopped drinking, how many times have we gone out? I think I would say our max at a dinner was probably 3, and that was on very scarce times. Most of the time
every time we
did
2. that was absolutely wrong.
Right, but what I'm saying, your intent wasn't like, oh, I'm going to get effed up. You think I'm gonna be okay. So what I'm saying is, you know how many people go out, have a couple drinks, drive home thinking I'm going to be okay. Most of the time they probably are. Sometimes, unfortunately, people are not. So, I mean, that's the, you know, so that's why I say I couldn't be friends with somebody who is a degenerate drunk, who's like, even if you're not driving, just you always drunk is a problem.
It is.
Yeah, that's a problem for me if you're just always drunk.
A little early for all that. You're just drunk in the middle of the day. What happened this weekend? The Grammys was this weekend. What's your thoughts on the Grammys? We watched majority of them. We missed maybe an hour the end of it.
That's all?
Yeah, because I think it went off at 11. Close to the
change the channel. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought we probably missed like half of it because it seemed like we didn't see a lot. But
a lot of that shit they didn't air. I heard too, because I heard it was over 40 awards and they only aired 9.
Yeah, because I know the best rap album, and then I heard the Clark sisters had kind of got some sort of like Lifetime Achievement Award or something. People were upset that they didn't air that.
Yeah, it's over 70 awards they can give, but on that night it was 40 awards and only 9 was televised. So that, you know, and each throughout the year it's only 9 to 10. So,
well, do you prefer to see more performances or more awards? So I think that's what they have to squeeze in.
Well, I would want to see more awards and less performances then. But I would want to see solid performances. Everybody don't need to perform. Mm-hmm. Like, just because your song's on the radio or whatever, like, everybody don't need to perform. If you know how to perform and you give a good show, it's the Grammys. Like, you should be able to do a good show. But if you up and coming and all that kind of stuff, maybe the Grammys is a little big for you right now. And everybody shouldn't perform. But that's not saying you shouldn't get your award and walk out on stage and all that stuff. But you don't need to block it all up with all these performances from popular people when it's like, you know, you want to see the Tracy Chapman performance. You want to see Stevie Wonder, you know, people who know how to perform.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would rather see more of the awards and maybe, I don't know, maybe have shorter performances or something, because you're right, it's not enough time unless you have like a 5-hour show.
Yeah, I mean,
to air every
they
award.
bumped it up an hour from 8 to 11. So that's 3 hours, and it's like you only get 9.
Yeah, I mean, then you got commercials, then you got, you know, the performances were long. They really extended out the, in remembrance, they kind of did that in segments, so that took a long time. I think I would rather them cut out some of the performances and show more awards. I mean, overall, it you know, it was what it was. I wasn't really wowed by, you know, anybody's fashion per se. I thought Chrissy Teigen looked really great. Yeah, I mean,
she ain't been out in a while, so.
Yeah, she got them 2 babies.
Yeah, wow.
But you know, I think, you know, so a few people look nice. But in the performances they did have Fantasia.
Wow, Fantasia, right?
She did such a good job.
She did such an awesome job. But a lot of people said Fantasia's beautiful and nothing bad to say about her. But dead Tina danced better than Fantasia.
Aww.
Like, that fucking Proud Mary with the arms barely going, and you know, that thickness was like, you know, moving a little slow. Even the backup dances, like, it wasn't that boom, Tina Turner, Proud Mary. And everybody know in the beginning of Proud Mary, it's that, you know,
start off slow and then
it start that, you know, she didn't do none of that. She was just like,
well, Tasia is a great performer, but she's not a dancer.
She did an awesome job
singing.
She
did a great job.
Beautiful,
yeah.
But
and even with her dancing, you know, she didn't sound winded. Like, she really did good. But you're right about the dancers. I don't know if they use like universal dancers for the show, because I wanted to, well, even like, we didn't see the Burna Boy performance because Amara, who was the head dancer for the Renaissance tour with Beyonce, she danced with Burna Boy, so there was some thickness represented. You know, I didn't get a chance to see it, but she did perform with him. But it did feel like some of the other dancers were very Rockette like, like, you know, the do. Like, I wasn't wowed
like
by
it wasn't rehearsal with choreography and all that kind of stuff. It was just something simple.
Yeah, like they didn't they didn't go too deep into
basic.
the choreography.
Very basic.
Basic choreography. That's what it looked like. Jay-Z, his speech, I loved it. Loved it. I love his honesty. I love his I won't say it's his bravado. I just love, you know, that he keeps it real with a little sarcasm, but a whole lot of truth. He just brings realness to a platform that's can be, I mean, not the artist, but the, you know, the Grammy Academy or whoever they are, can be a little stuffy, and he breaks through that barrier and he brings that realness. I love what he said. Because we know it's all a game. We know it's the awards. Like, people say, oh, artists shouldn't care about the Grammys. Right. But you do want the recognition. Like,
if you're giving me the recognition, don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
If you're gonna fuck it up, don't give it to me at all. Right. But if you're gonna call me up here and do all this shit, then, because, like, again, an album, right, is in sequential order. Some people listen to an album front to back, and it says something to them. It creates a story. It's a beginning,
artists put a
middle.
Lot into.
Yeah, it's a beginning, a middle, and end. So I understand how you can be a artist who got Song of the Year, Video of the Year, Feature of the Year,
Writer of the year,
and still you got 4 of these Grammys off of one album, but you don't get Album of the Year because somebody else's album plays better than yours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. From front to back, it just plays better than yours.
It's a better whole work of art.
A body of work. Yeah, it just plays from track 1 to track 10 or 13, whatever. It plays a different a story with it. And then
Right.
your album was just hot, and you got 4 Grammys off, you know, single of the year, whatever the fuck. You got 5 Grammys off one album, but you didn't get album of the year because it didn't play like a sequential album.
Or the
does.
body of work wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
I
does
understand
make
how
sense.
that happened. So Beyonce can have Lemonade, which we all thought was that should have been a Grammy, but you can have songs off that you get song of the year for, or video of the year for, or you know, all this stuff, but you don't get album of the year because Adele's album plays better than that.
Right, because you can have a song, you can have an album that has 6 A+ tracks and maybe has 1 B track, 1 C track, and then you can have somebody else that has B or A minuses across the board. So like I get that. Like I think it makes me think about an album with no skips. And I do, like when I think about Lemonade, I skip Daddy Lessons. Like that I don't that to me
It's
was
like 9 minutes long too.
And it's like a country song, and I can't relate, so skip for me. I think that might be the only one that I skip on there. So yeah, I do get where you can have a song that's hot. The writing for the song gets an award. The video for the song gets an award.
The collab, whoever the feature you had on there gets the
but
award.
Somebody else's album as a full body
Just
of work.
plays better.
Yeah, but I do feel like that having that same rationale for all these years, it's like, come on now.
And the two
it's getting
albums
old.
the 2 albums that Beyonce it was Lemonade, and what was the other her album that she just had, or the one before
Renaissance.
that? It was Renaissance. And people thought she should have got Grammys for them, but I think she lost to Adele and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Renaissance though where she
So what was
lost,
the album
but yeah.
before that then?
Renaissance, before that she had Lemonade. Well, she had that Lion King album too, Black is King, but she had Lemonade. Oh my God, what's the song with Kendrick Lamar? Hold on.
I think that's on Lemonade.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
the song with Kendrick Lamar is on Lemonade.
All right. So Beyonce.
So
That was the album.
she had 2 albums that should have did get nominated, but she
Right.
lost in those categories against Adele and Taylor Swift.
Right. So she had Beyonce was the album with Drunk in Love. Then she had Lemonade. Then she had Renaissance. But between Lemonade and Renaissance, she had she had Lion King, and then Homecoming, the live album. That was just a live performance.
The ones I'm talking about is Lemonade and Beyonce.
Yeah.
Those albums, she went up against Adele and Taylor Swift in those years and lost both for album of the year. So I'm saying she's not going up again, but she won more Grammys than them that year.
Right.
They walked away with album of the year and probably 1 or 2 Grammys. She probably had fucking 8 or 6.
Well,
but just not album of the year.
She did. She has 32 wins.
Right.
And she's been nominated for 8. She's had 8 nominations.
She's had 88.
I'm sorry, 88, right, and 32 wins.
Yeah.
So she did, from the Renaissance album, Plastic Off the Sofa was the best traditional R&B album. So she did get some awards off that album.
But got an album of the year.
Exactly. But this is the crazy thing. Okay, just from that album, just going off Renaissance album, Plastic Off the Sofa was the best traditional R&B. Break My Soul was the best dance electronic recording. Cuff It was the best R&B song. Break My Soul was Song of the Year. Renaissance was the best dance/electronic music album. Virgo's Groove, best R&B performance. These are all from the same album.
I get it.
Right. So that,
but it's still not album of the year.
Exactly.
Because somebody
Break
else
My Soul was the record of the year.
Yeah, somebody else album plays better than that.
And then nominated for, no, I'm sorry, those weren't all wins. Those were all nominations. So yeah. So again, she got all those nominations from that album, showing that she was in the runnings for it. But
no wins.
Yeah.
Yes, but she still got 32. So it's almost like saying, is it really a snub if you're winning everything else? It would be a snub if you had 4 Grammys and 88 nominations.
Right.
But you're winning everything else except Album of the Year.
Yeah.
So is there any validity to you being cheated? And you're losing against powerhouses also. You're not losing against Monica.
Right.
You're losing against Adele and fucking Taylor Swift, who are super pop artists.
Yeah. So she won 4 awards. She won 4 Grammys for the Break My Soul album. So for that one album, she got 4 Grammys for that one album, but just not Album of the Year.
Right.
Yeah.
And the person who got Album of the Year, they probably only got that 1 Grammy. But
yeah, because she got, yeah. But I mean, again, it's a game, it's a system. There was someone, and I don't think they ever named the person, but they said that Beyonce and Viola Davis, so when it comes to Grammys and Oscars, they don't give them the awards because they already get enough recognition. That to me is bullcrap. That's like being in school and saying, "Oh, you always get the award for being the best speller or the best person in math. So we're going to give it to the sick and best."
It's the
participation
award.
Yeah. And I don't like
that's
that.
That's what that's about. Killer Mike is selling a broom for $100 because he swept his everything. Best rap album, best rap song, best rap video. He swept everything.
That's funny.
So he's selling a broom.
That is funny.
You know, some store down south, one of their Home Depots or something, you could get his broom for $100 because he swept it. He was also arrested for bumping into a security guard. Because you know, you win your 3 Grammys and you sweep your shit, you might be feeling yourself a little bit. So him and his boys was trying to get to a certain space, and some security guard that's working an 8-hour job was like, "You can't come in here." And he was like, "I just won. I got Grammys. Move." And they locked him up for that.
Wow.
They locked him up for that. Like pushing a security guard.
Wow.
Like, that's crazy. But
all because he was a big black man.
Yeah,
Let
but
him
shouts
have
out
been,
to Killer Mike.
Who was the guy? Luke somebody who did that.
Luke Combs.
Yeah, they would have just pulled him to the side, told him, "Hey, buddy, calm down a little.
Let's take it down a notch."
Yeah, but you put the big black man in cuffs to walk him through to like the walk of shame.
Great grandfather was like Frederick Douglass or something. Ain't it related to Frederick Douglass?
But I thought that was Umar.
No, that's Killer Mike. Yeah.
It's like they always have to find a way to humble us or try to humble us. Like, "Oh, you too big for your britches. Let's bring you down a notch. Let's put you in cuffs and walk you through." Like, come on. Because we know Luke Combs or Mark Ronson, any of those other big white, big public figures who are white would not have had the same treatment. I don't believe it. I don't believe that they would.
I don't believe they would too. I think they would have told them with 3 Grammys in their hand, "Hey, let's tone it down." But because he I won, me and my guys trying to get over to there, like, move, like, have some, I won, like, I'm feeling myself. And, take it to the fucking 10th power. Calling the cops, you getting locked up, you assaulted me, like all this other shit.
That's crap.
But shouts out to Killer Mike for winning 3 Grammys. He said that was his best album. I listened to a few songs of it. I didn't quite listen to the whole thing, but it's shouts out to Killer Mike.
You know what's coming up this weekend?
What's coming? Oh, Super Bowl, baby, Super Bowl. Let's do 3 grams. In reference to the Super Bowl, Pat Mahomes Sr. was arrested on a DUI for the 3rd time. Is this a distraction for his son going into the biggest game of his life? I'm
sure it's not, because he probably knows that his dad is an alcoholic. No, I'm serious. If you've been arrested for a DUI the 3rd time,
maybe you're just one of them people like we just talked about who don't give a shit, who go out to dinner and get drunk and drive home.
But people who do that, when you were, if you're just a casual drinker, when that happened the first time, you would have been scared straight. The 3rd time, you didn't learn your lesson.
I was playing devil's advocate. He looks like a drunk.
Yeah, I don't even know what he looks like, but it just sounds to me. He looks like
one of the men that always got red eyes.
To be arrested, to have a DUI for the 3rd time, to me, tells me you have a drinking problem. It's probably not a distraction for his son, because his son probably already knows it and has known it all all his life. It's probably something that he's dealt with as a child, knowing that, you know, his dad is in the house drunk. So I don't think it's going to be a distraction for him. If anything, who knows? That may be what fuels him to be, you know, as great as he is. He may be out there, you know, letting the anger fire off the balls. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a distraction, though.
We always watch the Super Bowl. Who you got? Who you? It's only two teams left, 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. You got Pat Mahomes, you got Kelsey, and then, you know, over there you got Brock Purdy. You don't know who that is?
I don't know. I want the Chiefs to win, but I don't want.
Why? I hope it's not the color. Like, why do you want them to win?
Andy Reid, Travis Kelsey, Pat Mahomes. Like, yeah, I like people to have that story. You know, they've been a successful team. Yeah. I don't want to hear about Taylor Swift though, because of the whole Travis Kelsey thing. You know, just to sidebar for a second, this is another situation where they want our culture. They want our what I tell you the other day? They want our something, but they don't want our blues. I forget how
they want our rhythm, but don't.
Yeah, they want our rhythm, but they don't want our blues.
You said blues. I don't know how rhythm didn't pop.
I know. I don't know either. Now they're calling like the fade that Travis Kelsey has, like the Kelsey fade. Like black men ain't been getting this fade all of our life. It's like when Kim Kardashian
the next day and said that's ridiculous.
No, he said it, but I'm saying even for the media to do that, it's stupid. Media. That's just like when the Kardashians had braids and they wanted to call them like, oh, they have boxer braids. No, they have cornrows that black women have been wearing in our hair since time immemorial. Like, soon as white people do something,
boxer braids, they call them.
Yeah, they call them boxer braids. Like, soon as white people do something, they want to act like, oh, it's this big phenomenon that they created, or this big phenomenon like, oh, everybody's following after this trend. How about they follow after black people? Travis Kelsey has that haircut that black men across America look good in when they come from the barbershop. Like, the white media always got to try it. They always got to try to humble us and push us to the side. Like, they don't steal everything from us.
That burns you up?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's,
you know where you live, you know the world you live in, you know it's white people that control that, and it's doing what they want it to do to you.
But you know what? I wish that
because you expect it to be the other way, and you know that's not America. You know it ain't the other way. They ain't gonna prop us up. They ain't gonna push us forward. They ain't never did before, so why they gonna start?
I wish it was somebody that could be like, you know how you show on like the news where it's like they talk to each other like opposition to say, debates. You know, well, not necessarily a debate, but just to call them on their crap. Like, hey, Bob, you know black men have been getting that haircut since time immemorial. Why would you call that the Kelsey fade? Like, I want somebody to call them on their stuff when it happens. Like, he should have to come back on air and apologize.
Man?
Yeah.
I think Kelsey did it for him. It's more people listen to Kelsey than him. And Kelsey went on this podcast the next day, and the first thing he said out of his mouth was the shit they said about this haircut yesterday. Like, I got this from black people. So it's ridiculous that they said that. Like, he said that out of his own mouth. Like, white people didn't make that haircut up. Like, he's just the dude who's dating Taylor Swift. And this is another thing. Do you fuck with Taylor Swift?
You know, I don't dislike her. I don't know any of her music. Like, I've never attempted to listen to any of her.
But you don't have a thing against her, like a Beyonce thing or some shit like that? Or just like, I don't like her because she's white and she does pop songs?
You know what it is? It's weird too, because when I see like some of the fans that they talk to, I realize like, okay, these are people that have grown up with her. So it's not just young kids, it's older women too. But I guess because I didn't start listening to her, you know, 15 years ago when she came out, I don't know any of her music.
Right.
I don't dislike her. I've just never even attempted to listen. Okay. It's never piqued my interest.
Got it.
Because I always thought it was like too young when she came out. She
was like I don't know, a teenager when she came out, a young teenager.
So I never even attempted to listen. So I don't know. I mean, from the songs that I hear, like head on the head, and like I can't even think of the song in my head.
Shake It Off.
You shake it off, shake it off. Yeah, like I might hear that in Target or something.
Which was, what song she did when she was really young.
Yeah, so other than that, I can't think of any songs off the top of my head. Her radio songs all seem to kind of have that kind of tonality to them. Now, she may have some bangers, some track hits that I never heard of
pop
before.
Charts, but we don't listen to pop music.
Yeah,
pop
so
stations.
I don't have anything against her. I've just never attempted to listen.
Okay, I've never asked you that before. Like, do you fuck with Taylor Swift? Because I think she's dope because of, just like Beyonce's dope. Like where you took it to, like that's just a dope thing. Like I don't think that was given to you. You got to go on stage, do a great show, perform them shows, and entertain an audience. And if you trash, then you don't sustain that success that long.
Yeah, but I wonder how does people feel about, when I say people, I am in no way comparing her level of celebrity to a Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to ask people that have attained that like level of celebrity, including Beyonce, including Taylor Swift, like the people who like people faint over. Like, what does that feel like? Or to have these grown women who might be old enough to be your mom, like fanning out over you.
I would think.
When you're just making music, you're not like out here saving lives.
I would think that it's a super powerful feeling that makes you feel embarrassed. To see somebody faint over you or cry or shake or can't get their words out because you're there. I think that shit
like,
makes
all I do is sing.
Yeah, it's like a powerful feeling that somebody's like doing that, but it makes you, if you're a humble person, it makes you feel embarrassed. Like, no, stop. Like I'll talk to you. Like, stop crying. Like, I'm just a person. Like, you don't have to fan out like that. But yeah, I've never seen anybody on Michael Jackson's level where 45-year-old men was like,
well, you need the paramedics on duty at the concert
because that dude was there. Like, and Mike just standing on stage ain't said a word yet. He just standing there like in a pose, and motherfuckers is shaking and passing out. Like, that's different type of stardom. But Taylor Swift moves the needle. She does. Beyonce moves the needle. They just move it in different ways. Yeah. Just Taylor Swift going to the NFL made the NFL $350 million. She went to 6 games. $350 million, like just her presence.
Because then the young girls like, oh, I want a Kansas City Chiefs hat or jersey
or
t-shirt
NFL
or
jersey
hoodie
or whatever the fuck.
But specifically Kansas City because of her being there. Had she been the girlfriend of Nick Foles,
the ratings
or somewhere,
go up because now the little girls got the fucking channel on Sunday. Oh, football on, like let's
just to catch a glimpse of her.
It's crazy, and that shit generates like she's like a walking economy. You
know what bothers me though, and this is like my own little pet peeve, and maybe it comes from a spiritual place too. I know that it does. When people relate to somebody as their idol, it's cringy to me.
Yeah.
Victoria Monet, Beyonce, I love when Beyonce sends flowers to like the younger artists and stuff. She has sent some flowers to SZA, and SZA, posted it and like gave some, thank you for supporting me, blah, blah, blah. And Victoria Monet, she had posted a picture that she took with Beyonce and like wrote like a thing like, my inspiration, my idol. When I see that word, it's cringy to me. Like we should not be idolizing anybody. We should have no earthly idols at all. Like that is cringy to me.
She's just as fallible as you are.
Yeah. Like she does the same job as you. She may have been doing it longer, and at this point she may do it better, but it doesn't mean you can't reach her status. But we shouldn't idolize. Being inspired by, being your motivation, being someone that, you aspire to grow to that level. All that is well and good, but that word idol is cringy to me.
Yeah. I mean, they're big stars, but yeah, you're not idol because you can see somebody the next day in the paper or on Instagram like, oh shit, they did what?
Not only that, guess idol. What? She pooped just like you.
Well,
like,
I was
she
about
got
to
to
say
wipe
that
her
too.
butt
Like,
just like you.
She take a shit. She got a period like you. She got to poop like you. Like, it's this. Y'all got the same problems. She just got money.
Yeah. It's like, that word idol just it's cringy to me.
Last gram. What's the most useless talent you have?
The most useless talent. So first, it makes me think, what are my talents?
That you would consider useless.
Well, no, what are my talents to begin with? I don't know what talents I have.
You don't have no talent.
I mean, no, I gotta think about, like, I used to play the piano. I guess that would probably be one that's useless at this point because I haven't done anything with it. What other talents do I have?
A cartwheel?
A cartwheel, I haven't perfected that yet. I wouldn't call it a talent. Some talents can't really talk about. They like red light special talents. I can flare my nostrils.
That's what you can. You can move your ears too. Flap your ears.
I cannot flap my ears. Do I look like an alien to you? I cannot. Don't you dare lie. I cannot flap my ears.
You remember you flapped your ears for me?
No.
You don't remember you flapped your ears?
You might have flapped my ears for me.
I was, and you was like, looked at me, and they was like, they went down like.
You are crazy. You make my toes twitch, but you ain't flapped my ears yet. You flap my ears, I might get a restraining order. What's your most useless talent? Anybody that is close to me, my husband, my sisters know, I hate whistling. I hate whistling. I hate it. I just feel like, why
you can't do it.
Why whistle a song when you can just sing it?
People hate shit that because you might be in a place where whistling is like a library or
you can't whistle in a library.
Walking down the street.
Sing.
You look like a weirdo singing out loud down the street.
You look like a weirdo walking down the street.
It could be just whistling a goddamn a love song that you had in your head, just.
I would rather you hum than whistle.
Why do you think people whistle? Why do you think people whistle tunes?
To make noise. I don't like it.
It's not to make noise. It's soothing. Why do you think they make instruments that whistle, chimes and shit?
All right, it's a wrap. A2TP Podcast, episode 161.
Coming to a close. Go ahead, close it out.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And it's your boy International Walt.
And we are here. You can find us on Facebook, A2ThePodcast.com, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. I can't read the rest, so I'm switching it to you.
TikTok, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, Pod Index, Apple Podcasts. Those are all the platforms. Type us in. We should be there.
We should be there, and we appreciate your support, and we hope that you spread love today, tomorrow, and every day that you are here.
If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.